she asked the tutor, do you think that he's going to be able to read? She really hadn't been given hope for that before. And we said, of course. I mean, yes, so he can read. So they got started with tutoring. And throughout the course of the literacy tutoring and working with our tutor at the Syracuse Playhouse, he started reading on his own and identifying words. But more than that, she was able to teach mom what she was doing with him so that he was getting that from all sides, in his education.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Good News York. My name is Noah Chrysler. Today I am with Ruth Ann and Alyssa. Ladies, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi. Am I looking at the camera?
You can look anywhere you want. Yeah, down that camera's great.
All right. Hi, I'm Ruth Ann Riposa. I'm the Director of Executive Services with ProNexus.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Johnston. I'm the current Executive Director of GiGi's Playhouse, Syracuse.
Beautiful. So which one do we want to get into first? Probably GiGi's first?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So tell us about what GiGi's Playhouse is.
So our mission is to provide free educational and therapeutic programming to people with Down syndrome and other intellectual disabilities, their families, and the community. So we offer a wide variety of free programming to people across central New York. We have math and literacy tutoring, speech therapy. We have GiGi's Kitchen. It's like a kitchen skills class. We have GiGi Fit, which is 0 right through adulthood. And that was designed by physical therapists to promote just healthier living in the people that we support. And then we have a wide variety of other programs that touch on different topics like skill building, socialization. If you can think it, we probably provide it.
Oh, cool. Wonderful. What do you do there? Like, what is your function? What does your day-to-day look like there?
Everything.
Yeah.
She's the unicorn.
We're a very small staff of just 2.
Okay.
We are 99% volunteer run. So between myself and the other staff that's at the Playhouse, we do everything. So she focuses more on the programs and operations side of things, managing the volunteers, scheduling the programming. My job is more so the marketing, the outreach, connecting with donors, writing grants,
Gotcha.
trying to secure the long-term sustainability of our Playhouse.
Wonderful. So if somebody were to walk into the Playhouse, what would they see?
They would see, depending on the day, they would either see a very busy Playhouse full of people receiving, whatever programs that we're providing, or sometimes it's a little quieter and it's Kara and I trying to catch up from those busy days. We both have our offices right in the front of the Playhouse, so the second you walk in, we hear that, we stand up, we go out and we greet you at the door. We see why you're there, and more often than not, we offer impromptu tours and just information about the Playhouse.
Do a little bit of a tour right now for our viewers. If they were to walk into the Playhouse, I think it's really cool how our Playhouse is laid out to be fun and creative, and also there's space for people to get individual tutoring. Can you give almost a walkthrough for the people that are watching?
Yeah, so when you walk in for a tour, we're going to start with just showing you who our founder is and why we exist and why we do what we do. And then we're going to show you our kind of like our community meeting space. It's like a living room kind of setup, and it's designed that way to promote just like natural interaction with our families and the people that come into our Playhouse. Behind that is our donor wall, so you get to see all of the people that believe in us, helped us get started, and continue to support us. As you venture into the Playhouse, there's going to be a large community meeting space, a little stage area to have people practice being their best. And then we have a couple tutoring rooms, so people will go in there for the math and literacy tutoring as well as our speech therapy programs. We have a kitchen full of different items for those kitchen classes. They usually bring those items out into the community space, so it's more like a teaching setup. And then we have a very large gym that they participate for GiGi Fit, and then we also have some open play toys and things like that in the gym.
The beautiful thing about the way that it's laid out is if you're a family member and you're bringing a loved one there, even if you're a support person in that person's life, you're bringing someone there to benefit from the programs offered at the Playhouse that day. It's naturally set up so that caretakers, family members, friends of people with disabilities can sit and interact with each other. Sometimes there are parents, especially parents that are maybe have a younger child, that feel isolated. They don't have their community, or they don't have their network established yet, and they feel alone. They feel alone in what they're experiencing, some of the struggles, some of the challenges. the beautiful thing beyond the people that are receiving services at GiGi's is the community that it builds for families and caretakers. And it naturally evolves that way just simply the layout of the Playhouse itself. And again, it's right there in Drivers Village, so it's pretty convenient to access. It's kind of tucked away though, so it's not as visible to the community. But once you're inside, it naturally, just by the layout, develops its own network and community.
But even further than that, we keep people connected by their program. So if we have, let's say, 10 families that are signed up for LMNOP, which is Language, Music, and Our Peeps, and that's our littlest littles. They're 0
Beyond
to
cute.
5. They do a music program every other Saturday morning. They follow that up with GG Fit. But we have text groups that we create with each of all of those families that are together for those. So we can send out reminders and updates, but it's become more than that. We recently have had families that will just say, hey, I'm seeing this out of my child lately, and I'm not sure what to do or what provider to go to. And it's created this like such a natural support group that's as easy as to access is by texting your phone. Like it's incredible the way that works. And then when they see each other, they can continue to follow up and they have those conversations, and no one's really alone. So they can see what everybody else is doing. They can hear everybody else's stories, and they know that they are surrounded by a community.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I think you guys have touched on this a little bit, but it sounds like GiGi's Playhouse is making a difference in the community. Can you explain a little bit, what that difference in as tangible terms as possible, right? Like, what does that difference actually look like? And if GiGi's Playhouse didn't exist, how would that impact the community?
We provide a judgment-free zone of acceptance and practicing to be your best so that you can go out into your world and into your community and you can feel confident and supported and, oh, I know how to do that. I did that at GiGi's 2 weeks ago. Or meeting people. We have so many people in and out of the Playhouse that then Syracuse is small, right? So they go out into their community and they're like, oh, I saw you a couple weeks ago at GiGi's. And then they can form those relationships and those conversations.
Our footprint has significantly expanded.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about where we were a year or two ago and where we are today.
So from this time last year to now, from this time last year to December, we grew our programming by 40%. So we are providing 40% more hours per month than we ever have. We are providing to almost 100 more families annually than we were before. Since December till now, we are on track for another 40% growth. We are averaging over 1,000 hours per month of programming that's provided to our friends with Down syndrome and other intellectual disabilities, which is incredible to see. That just shows the need that the community has for a place like GiGi's. But with, the increase in hours comes an increase in program supplies, operations, and everything that goes around building those programs and keeping them successful.
Cool. Wonderful. Well, cool. So we also talked a little bit before we started rolling here about ProNexus. Can you tell me about ProNexus and what you guys do?
Sure. Okay. So the chapter here, I'm going to go back before Alyssa, actually. The chapter here in Syracuse really recognized the need of the community for more of GiGi's and what GiGi's offers. And so the decision was made at the board level. Honestly, they were running with one paid employee prior to Alyssa coming on board. And Kara really has always, organized programs and maintained scheduling and managed the volunteers and has done a wonderful job. But they knew in order to increase the footprint here in Central New York and to further meet the need of our community, they needed to bring in, more of an executive director type. So my firm, ProNexus, we do a lot of work in the nonprofit space. My service line really is geared and tailored towards nonprofits. And one of the things that we do, one of the services that we offer is retained search. So if you have a C-suite position, a CEO, a chief operating officer, even a director of HR, IT, director of operations type role, we do a lot in the retained search space. So I had reached out to the board president of GiGi's and I said, hey, and she goes, oh, what we're looking for is really a unicorn. We need an executive director that's going to be able to come in and oversee the Playhouse, be able to write for grants, maintain donor relations, secure funding. We really need, someone that can do the marketing and improve our social media. I'm like, we really need to find a unicorn. So ProNexus did the retained search. We found Alyssa, and obviously Alyssa has been able to naturally transition into that role of executive director. She's got significant background in the nonprofit space and working with people with disabilities, and has a remarkable career there. I got hooked. ProNexus really does a lot in the nonprofit space. We do a lot of work with leadership in nonprofits and the non-attest finance and accounting space. And I got chills up and down my arm the first time I heard the history of GiGi's and really learned about the mission. And so the board president, she was terming out, and she said, "Oh, why don't you come on the board?" But she had ulterior motives in mind. Mary Jo, if you're listening. And so they currently have me serving as the interim board president of GiGi's. And Alyssa and I are working hand in hand, very much so, to increase the opportunities that exist for people here in Central New York. And in order to do that, we really need to secure the funding, and make sure that we've got the infrastructure in place so we're sustainable for the next 3 to 5 years. Mm-hmm. So we are really, we're pounding the pavement right now, building up relationships. I think for me, I have got 25 years of experience in this space, right? I've worked for-profit healthcare and nonprofits, even local county government. I promise you, until we did the retained search through ProNexus for this position, I had never heard of GiGi's Playhouse. Mm-hmm. So the opportunity, even right now, with you to be able to come on and do this podcast, there's such an opportunity that we have right now. We want it to be as brand recognized as McDonald's and a Happy Meal. We are such a support to families that are sometimes faced with their biggest fears, their largest challenges. We want to be able to say, you are welcome at GiGi's. Your child, your loved one is welcome at GiGi's. This is the community that we are creating here in Central New York that is so special, unique, and different than anything else that exists. We want it to be a natural household name for families here in Central New York. So between the branding of GiGi's here in Central New York and then making sure we're securing funding to be sustainable into the future, that's what we're doing right now. We're pounding the pavement, and we're getting that out there, getting that message out there right now.
If you were to walk into GiGi's, especially on a day that there's programming happening, you're hooked. Immediately hooked walking into GiGi's. It's the first time I walked in, I was truly in shock at just how happy and welcoming and accepting. I don't think I've ever walked into a space that felt like that. And it was just truly incredible to feel, to be a part of, to continue to be a part of, and to promote and advocate for right now.
Here's what makes GiGi's special. GiGi's was started by a mom who became pregnant, found out that she was going to give birth to a daughter with Down syndrome. That is the starting point of GiGi's. And you feel that when you walk into a Playhouse. You feel that it's developed by a mom, by a family member, by a loving mom who wanted better for her daughter. Mm-hmm. I'm a mom. Clearly, Alyssa's going to be a mom shortly herself. And when you're a parent, it doesn't matter the level of ability that your child has. It doesn't matter what they're capable of, what their challenges are. You want the best for your child. And when you walk into a Playhouse, you know that it's created by people that want the best for their child, regardless of ability, regardless of diagnosis. You're surrounded by that. And there's something very inspiring by that. We're really excited. We've got Mom, we've got Nancy and Gigi, coming to the Playhouse next week. Actually, we're doing a VIP luncheon. Mm-hmm. We've got some really good things going on there, but we're really excited to have Nancy and Gigi come into our Playhouse. Mm-hmm. We have grown. Gigi's has grown. We've got 62 chapters right now across the country. We've got about a dozen more in development, and we even offer services virtually internationally. So we're continuing to grow. Our real goal, though, for between Alyssa and I, is securing our future here in Syracuse and in Central New York.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Very cool. I think that people really connect with like individualized stories and things. So do you guys have a story of working with someone from the area, right? And maybe they've come in, and you kind of worked with them and you've seen them kind of change and progress as they've been a member
Can
of
you share my favorite story? There was a mom, and again, my kids are 18 and 19, so I'm on the other end of it. We had a mom come in recently. This is a true story as of this year, where she was told that her child probably would never be able to read.
To read?
Can you
Yeah.
share that story?
Yeah, so she came into the Playhouse to receive, to talk about literacy tutoring for her son Sebi, and she asked the tutor, do you think that he's going to be able to read? She really hadn't been given hope for that before, and we said, of course. I mean, yes, so he can read. So they got started with tutoring, and throughout the course of the literacy tutoring and working with our tutor at the Syracuse Playhouse, he started reading on his own and identifying words. But more than that, she was able to teach mom what she was doing with him. And then mom was able to turn around and go bring that to the school and teach the school what was happening with him, so that he was getting that from all sides, in his education. And not that long ago, he asked his mom if he could read her a story out of the blue. And those were just words that she didn't think that she would hear. So to have your child, who you didn't think would be able to read at first, be able to say, hey, mom, can I read you a story tonight? I mean, how do you not break down? That's just incredible.
That's very powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah.
Another story, kind of more on the other end of it, right? Because we, obviously we have a lot of fun with the children that we work with and the kids. That's, if you look at our social media, we have a lot of pictures of that age group. But again, really focusing on the lifespan of how we serve people. I've been a part of some of the adult fit classes that happen. Those are a lot of fun. But how do we equip people to be able to accomplish across any desire or dream that they have? We have a young lady who has received programming through GiGi's and also is a board member. She sits alongside me on the board and is absolutely critical in each of the board meetings, the decision making that happens, the voting that happens.
Event planning.
Event planning, significant. So it's not just in the service recipient side of it, it's truly how we make decisions and, through the board level, how people are represented, how the future of GiGi's is formed. People have a voice and a say all the way through to board leadership. It's significant.
Cool. Wonderful. Beautiful. So for most individuals, is there any advice that you have for people when they are interacting with people with disabilities? Are there things that they should know, things that they should keep in mind, specific ways to, act? I mean, I don't know. Any advice that you have for people to make people feel welcome, and accepted, anything like that?
They're people just like you and I are. They're individuals with individual likes, dislikes, strengths, and you start talking to them just like you would talk to you and to anybody that's in this room or anybody that you go out and see. And then from there, you can tailor how your response is and what you're doing. But always treat anybody, disability or not, should be treated with respect and dignity and treated as the individual that they are.
Sure.
I have my own personal reasons beyond GiGi's for the work in the nonprofit space, and I have my cousin. He's adult now, but he was adopted, and they discovered pretty early on that he had some significant disabilities. He was diagnosed with autism, TBI, and the thing about Philip is while he may have challenges here, he's extremely gifted in horseback riding. He's competed and won shows, and not and competing against peers in his age group, right? And not just in a space with other people with disabilities. He's competed at state fairs. He's competed in a variety of places, and ribboned out and done very well. So if you're looking at and interacting with someone like my cousin Philip, you're gonna just we were talking today with the young lady at the front, and we talked about her photography, and we talked about her daughter and what interests her. It would be no different with someone like my cousin Philip. You would pick up on, he's interested in horses, and let him talk to you all about his interest in horses, his successes there. And I think that's the biggest thing. All of us want to be known for our successes. I'm very proud of my career professionally. Alyssa carries the title of executive director. She's going to be a mom soon, and I'm sure you have things that you identify with that you're proud of personally and professionally. You always want to be able to connect on what really matters to people and be able to jump into conversation that way. And I think if we all keep that in mind, like Alyssa said, you're interacting with another human being, it allows that to happen naturally and with grace.
Beautiful. Alyssa, can you share a little bit about your personal story as well, and how it kind of impacts the work that you're doing?
Yeah, so I actually I mean, going back to college, you get to college, you're not sure what you want to do or any of that. So at first, I was a chemistry major.
Oh yeah.
And if you know her now, it would you would know.
I liked it then, and then it was boring, and I was like, no, I need
Sure.
I need interaction, I need people. So I fell into this career through an internship and just absolutely fell in love with it, and the people that I get to interact with every day. Like it just, there's days where I walk into work and I'm like, I cannot believe that this is like my job. And the people that you get to interact with and the stories that you get to hear and just it just is a feel good situation. I got started in nonprofits and working in group homes, residential group homes, and then day programs and a variety of other types of programs. And then I stumbled across GiGi's when they were looking for this position, and I just couldn't believe the feeling that I got walking through the doors. Like, this is home. And it's weird to like think of that in a workplace, but it really feels like so much more than a workplace that, you just go to every day. It feels like a place where you can be accepted just as you are, and you want to do your best for them. You want to show them the best, and you want to keep places like GiGi's going.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on. How can people help you individually? Maybe Gigi and then with your business.
Yeah,
with ProNexus?
so we obviously always with our fundraising and our donor relations and connecting us with their networks if there's people that feel like our mission really aligns with them. We also have events that people can participate in. We're always looking for board positions as people are terming off. Committees, just volunteering in the Playhouse for any of the programming, tutoring. You can walk through the door and have no tutoring experience. We will teach you, and we will teach you how to be a tutor, and you can get started that way. No experience needed to come to the doors at GG.
What's the best way to learn more? Is there a website?
You can go to our website. All of our information can be found on our website.
What
It's
is the website?
gigisplayhouse.org/Syracuse.
GiGi'sPlayhouse.org/Syracuse.
Yep. We have a very specific ask right now.
Yep.
We are really looking, like I said, at the beginning of this podcast, we have grown more than we could have ever anticipated, and we need to grow financially. We have a campaign that we're doing right now to raise $50,000 in the next 3 months. And so we have an immediate ask. And I think what I would ask of anybody watching this is if something has resonated with you, if something has hit home, if you have a family member that has benefited or could benefit from GiGi's, or a neighbor or someone in your network, please come. I'd love to give you a tour of GiGi's. I'd love for you to be a friend of GiGi's and see the immediate impact that we're having, and also know immediately and see firsthand where your dollars are going and what they could impact. So we have a real immediate need right now to be able to secure that funding and then build up our sustainability for the next several years.
Beautiful. For local nonprofits, ProNexus?
Yes, ProNexus is in the nonprofit space here locally. We do a lot of work in the non-attest finance and accounting space. We're able to partner with a lot of nonprofits and be able to do a full or fractional outsource of all their accounting and finance needs. The service line that I've built up for ProNexus really allows for nonprofits that are struggling, whether it be at the organization level or a particular department. We are able to come in and be able to do assessments, build out a plan of action, and immediately rebuild infrastructure and stabilize within 4 to 6 months. We're able to provide interim coverage. Any nonprofit leader knows that if there's a gap, if you're a board member and you've got a gap in the executive director, CEO position, or if you're a CEO and you've got a gap in the chief operating officer position, or any of those critical C-suite roles, we're able to come in and provide interim plug-and-play coverage, so there's no gap or hiccup in operations. And again, like we talked about with Alyssa, we did the retained search for the executive director position and secured Alyssa's position there, working with the board at GiGi. So we do retained search, and those are just a few of the services that we offer. Again, it's we have our own website, ProNexusLLC.com. We'd love to talk more about how we can serve your nonprofit here in Central New York.
And I just want to add to that too, because the retained search process I really appreciated the fact that not only did she take the time to learn GiGi's and what they needed, she takes the time to learn the actual person that she's trying to place at these organizations to really make sure that it's a marriage that both sides are going to be successful with. So it's not just oh, you need this, this person has this on paper, and drops them into that organization. I mean, we had numerous meetings and phone calls before I even interviewed with GiGi's or that information was even sent to them to really find out about me, what type of position I'm looking for, what type of culture I'm looking for in an organization. And I feel like that's a huge reason for the success that's happened between myself and GiGi's over the last year, is that she really takes the time to get to know both sides to make sure that it's a long-lasting relationship and you're not just constantly a revolving door of people coming in and out of nonprofits.
Cool. Well, guys, hey, thank you so much for coming on. Seriously,
Yes.
Is there anything that we didn't cover that you want to touch on?
Thank
before
you
we-
for having us
Yeah,
today.
thank you for
Absolutely.
having us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. This is Good News York. My name is Noah Chrysler. Guys, this is a show put on by Clickstream Studios. You can learn more and get a free marketing plan as a part of our grand opening here. We are doing free marketing plans for local businesses. If you go to call.clickstreamstudios.com, you can book a session with me. We talk for about 45 minutes. I learn everything about your business, and then I go do a bunch of research, and I put together a tailored plan for you. You can use that plan on your own, or if you want to, you can use that with us if you so choose. Thank you also so much to our sponsor, Ads on the Go. Get adsonthego.com. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.